Hello, kia ora. It's Friday. I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you very much for joining us for our weekend weather update and the outlook for next week. And we've had a very busy past couple of days in the New Zealand area. This is the wind map plus the significant wave height. Now, obviously, Wellington was hit by those damaging swells and waves yesterday. This area in yellow, that was down around Wellington yesterday. It's moving away because there's a lot of high pressure from Tasmania coming into the South Island. But these big waves here, 10 to 12 metres high. Now keep in mind the door in your house or office is only about 2 metres usually. These are very big waves, but they are moving away, but still 4 to 6 metre significant waves coming in along this eastern side for a time, along with that southerly wind. And the areas in blue, that's where the sea is a lot flatter, a lot calmer. Now, as we take a look at the wind map for this evening, for Friday evening, we've put on there the misery index, which is a pretty simple formula. If it's red, you feel hot and warm. If it's blue, you feel cold. So you can certainly see the New Zealand area, that southerly change, and then high pressure coming in to lock in the cold means that tonight and going into Saturday morning will be pretty cold across a large part of New Zealand, with big frosts around the South Island interior, some places -5 to -7 overnight tonight. And it's cold as well along the eastern side of Australia, Tasmania, parts of Victoria, Canberra, New South Wales, even just getting into the Queensland area. A cold night tonight in the interior and higher up. But we've also got this developing low, and that's the other feature. So this evening, this is 8 o'clock tonight, driving in big winds. These are gale force winds just hugging the coastline, so not really coming inland, probably won't be too problematic overall. But this low is heading towards the New Zealand area, and this is where we are at lunchtime on Saturday. That big high from Tasmania now stretching out over the South Island, so big frosts through some inland areas, although maybe a few clouds and showers still getting into some parts of the west coast. The further north you go, it's a cold night tonight, but not as cold as it could be because the easterly winds start to pick up, and that just adds a degree or two to the temperature. Still a cold night, but maybe not as frosty as it could be further north. And that low deepens a little further on Saturday. It also pulls out a little bit further away from Australia, and Aussie's got a couple of cold fronts down here, one moving into Western Australia, the other one coming in towards Victoria, Melbourne, later on into Tasmania. So on Sunday, that low gets deeper and moves into the New Zealand area. As we go through the day, the clouds will build, showers will build, patchy kind of rain will move down from Northland. Doesn't look too serious to begin with, but the winds will pick up and they'll become gale force in exposed coastal areas by evening. And then as we head in towards Monday, they'll get even stronger. High pressure dominates elsewhere though, so not too bad, still frosty in some areas in the south. So rain is on the way. Over the next few days, this starts from Sunday morning, and this is the 3-day rainfall total. The biggest falls in Western Bay of Plenty and up here at the top of Northland, where you are looking at maybe over 100 millimetres falling in 3 days. You've had a lot of rain recently, so this could lead to slips and maybe some localised flooding. Further down around Auckland, 50 millimetres or more, and Coromandel Peninsula in that 50 to 70 millimetre zone at this stage. It could still change. So rain warnings are possible for these areas. And we can't forget the South Island, another burst of rain coming in for you. And I hate to say it, but Canterbury, you got about 50 more millimetres to come through next week, which could be well worth watching. So here we are on Monday. Severe gales are possible in this squash zone. This is not actually a storm. It's a really big low, but it's not actually a storm. A storm would have gale force winds all the way around it, and this top portion doesn't have gales. It's just a little bit blustery. But this squash zone between the low and the high out here, and this high is sliding up like that, will make these winds stronger, and it will also stop that low dead in its tracks. So it moves in on Monday with wind and rain also sliding down to the South Island, and by Tuesday the low is getting a little bit bigger and the winds aren't quite as bad, but we've still got plenty of rain and showers moving in. And I think Canterbury, Kaikoura, you'll be on alert following the rain you've just had to keep an eye on what's happening with this system here on Tuesday. And by Wednesday, the low is really stuck. It's getting bigger and bigger, which is like stretching. I said in a email to a client today, it's sort of like stretching the neck of your t-shirt so much that it loses its shape. That's what this low is doing. It's being stretched out, it's falling apart, but it could still drive in rain. Airflows from around Tonga, Fiji, coming down like this and straight into Canterbury. So worth keeping an eye on. Even if it doesn't turn out to be a major problem, there could still be enough rain though at lower levels to still cause a bit of surface flooding. So that's the middle of next week. Now, before I go, we've just hit the 20,000 subscriber mark on Weather Watch at YouTube. So a massive thank you to our YouTube audience. You guys are just amazing, and gals, obviously. You're all amazing. Thank you for all the comments that you send through, for the donations some of you have sent through, and just the general support. We get the most positive support out of all of our social media from YouTube. So thank you to everybody on there, and we hope to get to 100,000 subscribers in the next year or so. Probably pushing it a wee bit there, but maybe we can double it in the next year. That's the goal. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.